believe it actually, well, I put the mask on at 10. At 10 years old, I realized that if I just smiled and I looked like I was fine, everybody believed I was.
Shh. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gant. Today, I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know, those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave? Or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Really, the how, the what, the when, the where, the why. And today, woohoo! We have an amazing guest. I am a fan of hers. And so I have a question for you, Gwenn.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Look, she says it singing. But here's the question. What is your secret?
So my message is not like doesn't feel like a dirty secret, but it is still a very important secret. And I feel like it affects more women than we would like to say because of who it affects when we say it. So my secret is that I was a mute in my profession and in my marriage for 12 years.
Wow. So in other words, you didn't have a voice.
I did not have a voice. And I, have had to really recognize that and take accountability for allowing that to happen and then digging in deeper to find out why. I am such a naturally friendly, personable person. But for some reason, I allowed myself to hide behind a mask and allowed myself to be quiet and not be heard.
Wow. So when do you think that started? When you think back now, when did it start?
I believe it actually, well, I put the mask on at 10. At 10 years old, I realized, with all that was going on with my parents' divorce across 2 different countries, between England and Miami, I had to really rely on myself. I had to become a grown-up basically at 10. And I realized that if I just smiled and I looked like I was fine, everybody believed I was. And I don't, people can't see me, but like I have the biggest smile you've ever seen in your life. And I have 7,000 teeth. Yeah. So like...
You do. I have a big smile too, but you beat me. Like your smile's bigger than mine.
My mask was big. Yeah. When I look at babies and I smile, they smile back because they're just like, wow, I want to try and do that. So I put this mask on. I realized I could pretend that I was fine and didn't realize that I was pretending it to myself as well. In the meantime, I start modeling. I earn money from this smile. I'm on Price is Right for 12 years. This smile, this mask is doing well for me. So it seems,
Yeah, it's like you're banking on it. Like it's a part of you now. And that's for me too, as an actress. It's like, I put a mask on top of a mask on top of a mask and didn't even know who I was underneath those masks because I thought those masks were me.
Exactly. And they're working, right? In life. You're like, so it's working in life. I seem to have friends, I got a marriage that seems to look amazing. I've got this job that what's the problem here? Well, the problem is I'm not really who I am.
Yeah.
Not really okay. I'm not really happy. It's just a really good mask.
Yeah.
So now I got to have the courage to see what for myself is behind it. When I take this off, what's going to be there? What's the reveal?
When did the crack start? on the mask? Because there's a moment you look back and you're like, mine was looking in a mirror going, oh my God, like dark night of the soul, something is seriously wrong here. And I remember that moment in Eat, Pray, Love, where she's like on the bathroom floor in the middle of the night. Like that was her breaking point. Like what was yours where you were like, something is wrong here?
I mean, I knew that I wasn't happy in my marriage. Like it had been a while already, but I'd had 2 kids, and I knew that I was like, okay, I've got to try to figure out how to not be in this unhappy marriage. Mm-hmm. And then I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd baby. And I don't think I've ever told this story before. So this is truly for you, Brianne, right? Aww. So I didn't know I was pregnant at the time, and I was actually on Price is Right. And makeup and hair, you know how makeup and hair is on the show. That's where all the secrets go down, right?
Yeah, right.
And wardrobe. And they're like, would you have another child? And I was like, no, because 3 kids. Like 3? I will never have a life again. Like, how can I do anything? You know what I mean? And so not realizing I'm saying this as I'm pregnant, right? Because I find out when I'm 10 weeks. Right. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm 10 weeks. Like, I got to have this baby, like I'm going to have this baby. I mean, and I'm married, so you should have your baby when you're 10 weeks. Like you shouldn't even be thinking not to have your baby. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Like she obviously is supposed to be here. So let's go for it. Yeah. Let's do this. And and when I had her, before, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do anything with my life. And like, I'm just going to be a mom, and I'm just going to be working at Price is Right forever. And then you have another child, another human being that's going to need from you at that time. Then you got to go, well, got to sacrifice, Yeah. So when she was born, mm-hmm. and she looked at me, her eyes said to me, because I am here, you can do everything. Wow. I received that.
I'm literally looking at my arm. You can't see it, but I have chill bumps right now. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I was like, okay. Okay. And not that like each one of my children has impacted me in a huge way, but that spoke to me so loudly. And, she's 9 now, and she is that lady. Like at 9, she's a little lady. Wow. And she is that, I knew that I had to be all that I could be for her, mm-hmm. for her, to show her that she was right, that her energy was right, and that I'm going to be here to show you that I can do everything. And you know what's crazy and why I feel okay to tell you the story is because I told her this. Like she's old enough for me to tell her this story. And I told her this about, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago. And when I told her, she cried. Oh. And I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction. She was 8 at the time. Like it really touched her. And she goes, that is so sweet, Mom. Like, that is so sweet. And I was like, oh.
She was almost like your angel. Like she was, angel. Or a mirror for yourself.
A mirror. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. It was like she came out and said, Mom, I need you to have a voice. I need you to be you so I can be me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Beautifully put, Brianne. Beautifully put. Because I didn't know that she was going to be who she is, which is a nonstop energetic ball of singing and dancing. And you can follow my Instagram and see her on there. And like, she's constantly just everything. She loves tennis and track and soccer. She's athletic and she's creative and she's all these things. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I've always been all these things too. And I'm like, oh, wow. So I get to see this in human form in somebody else, mm-hmm. and help curate it, help mold it and help it to be the best it can be. And if I never showed her that I could be all those things, she would never feel like she could be all those things.
Exactly. She was your savior.
Yeah. So that was my moment. And then also from there, mm-hmm. Being tapped on the shoulder to be in Wonder Woman by the director and working on Wonder Woman 1984. Mm-hmm. that was the confirmation for me, because I saw these amazing Amazon women that were literally real. Like, you can't pretend to be an Amazon woman in Wonder Woman 1984. Okay. There's no fucking pretending in that. Like, you really have to be the shit, you know, and, you know, you need to be athletic and graceful and creative, and you have to be able to get along with people on set, and you got to have grit, you know, because the shit is hard, you know?
Yeah.
So
long hours too.
Long hours. I'm admiring, and you got to be brave as hell. Like, you're facing all these things. Like, even the stunt women on there are in moments where they're in tears because they've never done this type of shit before, but you're figuring out in these moments how to, you know, connect yourself to this wire, to do that, to jump off this. And how is the wind today with the gravity and the weight of my body, you know, all these, you know, scientific, mathematical things that are going along with all of this. So I am in these moments with these incredible women, and I'm admiring them. And I'm like, Gwendolyn, you're one of them. Like, you're not here interviewing them. You know, you're not here to be a fan. You're one of them. Here's your mirror.
Right.
See it and do it. And so that was it. I said, right, that's it. I see it. I see myself. Because if I don't see myself, then they don't see themselves either. Yeah. And I was like, right, I need to, this has to be for other women too. Like, this is where we have to really support one another. And it was, you know, I didn't know it was going to come back to a pandemic, you know?
Yeah, no.
Right. But in my mind, I was like, right, now I'm back. I'm connecting women. I am finding the Wonder Women of the world. And we are going to share our shit.
I love that.
We're going to share it, you know, and we got to uplift each other. We've got to share, you know, how much fucking work it takes. Like, for you, even Brianne, like, I admire the amount of work you do, and, you know, your tenacity, and, you know, you keep going. Like, I have to be here to show you that what you're doing is the right thing every day. Right. And, you know, and as you do for me, you know, admiration is not just a word. Inspiration is not just a word. Like, you're actually doing it. I think of you in my brain, you know, as one of my Wonder Women, and go, well, okay, this is a moment that I know I've had a conversation with Brianne. And I know that she's doing this right now. So I know for her, I got to do this for me too, you know? And that's what,
I mean, that's the whole thing. We're all in it together. And if you look at it that way, we're all uplifting each other and giving each other a chance to have a voice. The Me Too, you know, like, stepping in. When was the moment you actually got out of the marriage? When was the moment you actually felt like you had your voice back?
Well, I mean, I can tell you that they were kind of two different moments. I do remember the moment that I said, right, I'm done. It was when I got back from filming. Okay. And I kind of just, I know I was in front of the stove. I was in front of the stove.
The most random place you would never think.
It's just like, you know what? This is the last meal I'm cooking at the stove. Like, I'm done. I'm not waiting anymore. Life is too precious.
Yes.
And I've got to do it. I got to go. I have to go to the life that I'm supposed to be living, because this is not it.
How fucking brave. Honestly, so many people stick it out. And I do find it fascinating that first moment when you found out, right before, if you would have a third child, that you were still trying to make your marriage work because you were sleeping with him. So obviously you were still trying to make it work, but there comes a point when you have to say, like, enough is enough. This is not working for my soul anymore.
Yeah. I had to value, okay, before I move on and I say that sentence, I'm going to say, I slept with him one time. At that time, in that year, and that baby came from that. And her birthday, September 28th. So if you go back in time, it was New Year's Eve. Okay. So anyway, moving forward, I had to value my human being and all of what it has, all of the history it has, my special sauce, my magic, you know, and know that was worth leaving this, you know, wealth, basically, in money. You know, I had to say, like, there's so much more richness in that I know I need to bring for myself and enhance and for my children. So
I love that.
was what I had to, and I had to say to myself, who cares about the cars and the money and the clothes and the this and that? All
they
the
don't
shit
go with you. That shit does not go with you.
No. It's worth so much more. So I had to just keep believing in that.
I just, especially where we are in Los Angeles, it is people choose the other path to stay, right?
Yeah.
When they are really miserable and acting out normally in other ways to like give that stimulation, that boost. But like, I just believe you turning and telling this story and saying the money, the cars, the security is not worth it. Like your inner being is more worth it than that outer stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I really, it's like I was basically in a sexless marriage. I'll say that again. I was basically in a sexless marriage. And there was no like real love and connection going on. And I knew that I'd had that before in previous relationships. And I knew that this wasn't healthy for my children. And I wouldn't want my children to model that. And I wouldn't want to see my children in a marriage like that. And I wouldn't want them to feel like they got to stay in a marriage like that because of exterior, right? Like when we have these children, we have these babies, and all they are the being they are. And as mothers, all we do is fucking take care of the being that they are, right? So that they can blossom and become the most, they can maximize the best humans that they are, right? Capable of being. If I'm going to take care of myself, if we're going to talk about self-love, if I'm going to take care of myself with that type of love, then why am I allowing a car made of metal and a house that can always be rebuilt or remade or redesigned or redone or whatever? Why am I going to take these temporary things and think that those are more important than the human being that I am?
Yep.
How am I going to tell my daughter or son later on in life how to really believe and love themselves and be happy in their moments with who they are when I've shown them that I couldn't even do it for me?
Exactly. Because here's the thing, and I saw this picture the other day that I want to share with you because it's the same thing you're talking about. They showed a house, like a mansion, and like a grave in front of it. And they showed a shack and a grave in front of it. And the grave looked the exact same. It doesn't matter. All that other stuff. So I love that you leaped off that building into the unknown, not knowing who you were going to be on the other side, who you're going to be without him. So when was that moment that you finally decided, I'm done. I have these 3 kids and I'm going to jump off into the unknown, not knowing what's on the other side?
Yeah, the moment was after I got back from filming Wonder Woman 1984, and I had already seen, other women that I admired. And I talked to other women as well that were also single moms that were, there were so many different ways of living in life.
Yeah.
And because they were all so international, this film is these women are literally from around the world.
Yeah.
That then reminded me, and I'm filming also in London, which is where, I'm from England, I'm from Bath, but I'm in my place of birth. And it just was all so serendipitous that I was like, right, I got to take this message and I've got to go live my real life, my real purpose. I've got to stay in my passions, and I knew that coming back to the place where, what gives me that inner sense of peace that really makes me smile is creativity and being back in the arts. And so I did. I just started, back on my piano, learning, getting back into singing lessons and back in my acting classes and really just getting back to who I knew I was before the marriage. Feeling sexy again. And it's okay. Like not feeling like it's not okay to be sexy. Like just because we're fucking mothers who, are married, like we shouldn't have to, it still feels like we're supposed to have a fucking apron on.
Yes.
Like, it's like, no, for real. Like if we are for real changing the way that life looks, like, then we shouldn't have a fucking problem with how Cardi B is with her jumpsuit on, celebrating her belly. Like, come on, like, that's fucking amazing. She's showing what we can do, you know, like to another level. Like I did it on Price is Right. I was the first model to do it for, you know, full pregnancy and come back and have the baby after, show the baby afterwards.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was the, you know, that was a breaking barrier point in my career. And, you know, to see that, like the women who support the show, the women who watch this show are women at home having babies. You know what I mean? So why would we not show that that's what models do too? Like just because I'm a model, I don't have a baby another way. Like I still,
you don't have like a magical baby that doesn't affect your body somehow. You know?
No, like, yeah, it still is grown in my body. I still go to work. Look, I can still show you the cars and then this and that and the blah, 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 and then come back and here's the baby. And then I can work out and I'll get back fit again. You know what I'm saying? Like, showing you the realities of what women are, what we go through, how we do that. That is what we are needing to do right now. And I really wanted to be a part of that, showing that. And I still am doing it. Like, I still want people I still have to do it with my kids now. Like, you know, my son's 13 and he still is like, you know, oh my God, please don't post that picture. Like, you're too sexy and it's going to kill my life.
Like, no, I'm living my truth, son. And he's going to pick a woman that lives her truth because you are, you know?
Exactly. You like, son, I have been a sexy woman. Yeah, I mean, like I've been that, and I'm not going to not be that because part of my identity is your mom, you know, because I had an identity before you got here, and I don't have to feel like I need to make that smaller because I'm a mother. Like, why?
That. And we're running out of time, but how does it feel to actually have your voice back? Actually have your purpose back? Like, I know you have the podcast and I've been on it. So how does that feel? How are you giving it to the world now? Like you said, with Wonder Woman and all of that.
I feel like I am actually living life. I'm not existing.
To the fullest.
To the fullest. That feels amazing. It feels incredible. I feel alive. And you have to live to feel alive, to share and live in your purpose. And I really feel like I'm doing that. I'm on my journey. I feel like I'm in the right places at the right time. I'm meeting the right people. I'm finding the right friends. I'm talking to you, you know, it feels really good. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I just want to say, it's like, I just am inspired that you wanted to come on and share this, because the secrets that we keep hidden from ourselves are sometimes the harder ones to talk about than, you know, the ones that happen to us. So I'm so grateful. And I have one more question for you. If a woman is listening right now and she's in a empty marriage or worried about life on the other side or feeling mute herself, what would be your first advice to her?
I am for marriage, right? So I don't want people to think that because I'm divorced that I am not for it. I am pro-marriage if it is a healthy place. If you feel like you're unhappy and you're unable to voice that, then we already have a problem, right? like there's a problem that you feel you're in a situation. So like, then talk to us. I'm so about therapy. I have a therapist. You have to have somebody to help you with your mental mind the same way you do with your physical body, and help you to get to a place where you can advocate for yourself. Once you feel that you can take your thoughts to speaking and then to action, things will start falling into place. And that is what I tell everybody. Like, do not keep the thoughts in your mind that are helping to propel you forward. Help somebody sort those out so that you can then put them into actual words, and then you can hold yourself accountable to those words. Yeah. Even if it is, I am going to make sure that what I do makes me happy, not pleasing somebody else, you, not your children, not your husband, not your mom, not your auntie, not your sister, you. And be honest and move forward out of the truth.
I love that. I love that, because I always say you cannot trust the addict brain that got you where you are. You need help getting out of it. You can't fix with the brain that it made it, made it where you are right now. So thank you so much. Please tell people your podcast before you go and where they can listen and see you and follow you and all that.
Oh, yes. Okay. So my Instagram is at ITS GWENDOLYN, which is spelled It's Gwendolyn. And you can find me on all platforms with that, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and also Tea with Gwenn is on all social platforms. So you can find that on Spotify and iTunes and Google and all the things. So go listen to all the Wonder Women of the world on Tea with Gwenn.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so grateful to know you. And your beautiful big smile.
Yeah, I'm going to take a pic of us real quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop it. Oh, and if you want to be on the show, please email me at secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you'd like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.